All right, hello again. I will be painting on this wooden board today. I'm just going to do my best to show you at the right angle on what I'm doing. Ideally, you want to just keep a flat surface because you want to let the colors dry flat. And I want to get started because an hour goes by so fast, and I just want to make sure that, you have your time to relax and paint. Because painting is so therapeutic, especially after a long day. I'm doing summer camp right now, teaching bring out dinosaurs, and it's exhausting. But coming home and being able to like paint and just like do something for yourself, like create something, is always really nice. And just wanted to thank you all for joining me today. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna quickly take my board down. And again, for those of you who just joined, we are going to need black, yellow, blue, and red watercolors. And if you are using watercolor pans, I suggest dripping water into them now, so you are able to get a lot of pigment over time. It'll soak through, and it'll be like a nice, like, gooey consistency, I would say. And if you've got everything set up, I would love to see in the chat where everyone's zooming in today, or not zooming, I guess joining us, and what you are sipping on. And very optional, maybe your favorite form of art, your favorite media. I would say mine, I have a hard time deciding between oil paint and acrylic, because yeah, it's like something, oil and acrylic, they have similar consistencies, but one takes a really long time to dry versus acrylic where it's a lot shorter. Okay, so I have 2 jars of water with me right next to me, and I'll try to keep one in the camera at all times. We're going to keep the reference painting here. I have a whole setup with usually what would be like an overhead view for you to follow along. But it decided to not work today, and that's okay. There we go. All right. Okay. So you are going to need, or we'll work with whatever you have, a round pointed brush. I like to use this big flat brush for a lot of different things, mostly in the beginning just to add color, add water to my pigment. I'll be using tubes today. And the thinnest detailing brush that you have. These will work. So while you're waiting, you want to start mixing a very light orange color along with a very, it's almost yellowish orange and very translucent. So it's going to be more diluted with water. I'm going to get my colors. I've got red. We've got black. You won't need a lot of black, but depending on the size of your paper, you can decide how much black you want to use. We will be using a lot of red and yellow, and a little bit of blue. I have two types of yellows that I'll be using today, just regular yellow pigment and yellow ochre. And I found that you can get this mustardy yellow when you add a touch, like the smallest amount of brown to yellow. And sometimes, depending on how bright your yellow is, a touch of red. Oh yeah, I see people are joining from Vancouver, Washington. Awesome. And also, if I'm going too fast or you need me to repeat something, please feel free to just type in the chat. I will be watching it as we are painting and responding to it. I also have paper towels ready. I like to rip them because sometimes if I make a mistake and I add too much water somewhere, I like to use it to dab it off. I also have this reusable vegetable cellulose paper towel that's reusable. Okay, all right, I'm gonna start mixing my colors. And I think now would be a great time to start using the biggest brush that you have and put a layer of clean water and paint that on your watercolor paper. Just so that it's nice and lubricated and there won't be any solid, harsh lines when we start painting our sky. Perfect. I'm just doing horizontal. I forgot that there's no camera above me. I'm just going straight across my paper. With clean water. And you don't want it too wet, just wet enough so that you have a slight gloss onto your paper. All right. Now we can start adding some pigment. There we go. I'm going to grab the orange that I made, and I'm just going to touch the top of it, my paper, and I'm just going to grab some yellow as well. I'm going to clean off my paintbrush and dab a little bit of the excess, and I'm going to go all across the paper with brush strokes all the way down, ideally from top to bottom. And this is going to be your sky. This is going to be interesting. Never really done a painting upside down before, but we're gonna make this work. I'm just trying my best to bring the color down. And you want to get about halfway, and it's going to be a little bit more yellow as we go down. You can kind of see that there's, it's not like solid colors, but you see streaks of darker oranges and more light oranges and some yellows, and you want that because it does create movement in the sky. All right, I'm going to stop right there. It's about halfway, and we're going to let that dry. So I'm cleaning off my paintbrush, and I'm going to add some background music. Hopefully you can hear that. I'm not sure if you can hear there's a fan blowing in my laptop. And feel free to take a sip of whatever you are drinking right now. I am drinking, make sure you can see this. Iced tea, it's a black tea. From my favorite tea shop in Washington, and I highly recommend their teas. This is the Tahitian blend. It's like a perfect black tea summer blend. Oh, sorry. Thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna put it. Is that better? Let me know if I need to pull it away. Okay, good. It's called Perennial Tea Room. If you have heard of it and also shop there, I would love to know what your favorite tea is. My favorite tea is almond sugar cookie. If you like black tea, it's my favorite. I don't even need to add any honey. It's just like if you like almond flavor and black tea, and just it really does remind me of an almond sugar cookie. I can't explain it enough. All right, I'm gonna test to see how dry my paper is, and I like to do it by kind of tilting it and seeing if it shines in the light, if it like is still kind of glossy. And I think it did. So you can decide if you want to use a round brush or a flat brush, and we're going to start our first mountain range. I'll move them a little closer so you can see. We're going to use the tips. You might want to watch first a little bit. So it starts orange, and you're going to want to make this magenta color. And you do that by mixing red and a touch of blue. And I'm going to add water to that. Perfect. All right. Let's see. Oops. I'm going to start with that color. And I'm just going to start at the top third. Add water. And the orange that you have is going to move to this color here. So I'm just going to go straight into it. You don't have to clean your paintbrush. This is really hard cleaning upside down. So now I'm dipping my paintbrush in water, and I'm keeping as much water on, and I'm just gonna brush across. So with a clean brush, you want just water on your brush, and you're gonna brush across and bring that mountain leaf down. And you can see that it gets lighter and lighter, and the top of your mountain is nice and dark. And what's really fun about watercolors is that you can watch the blending process happen. So I'm going to bring it more down, and I'm going to use actually my flat brush to bring that down a little bit more. I'm actually going to add some more pigment from the top again. And then to my orange. Alright, and please. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. The music is off. I wish I could share my audio. I'm not tech savvy enough for that yet. Alright. So you should have a gradient of color that goes all the way down to about the second third of your watercolor paper. That. And you can just touch up some color as well if you want to fill in some parts that might be a little too pale for you. All right. Thank you, Teresa. I'm going to put this down, and once you're done with this part, you're going to let it dry. I just realized. Okay. And now we're going to make, let me bring the reference photo up, some more magentas, and while we're waiting for this to dry, we're also going to make some purple as well. Ideally, your mountain will get darker as it's in front of you. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit more water. I have a second jar with me of clean water that I'm going to use. I'm adding more water to some red. And then I'm going to mix my red in so all that pigment is in there. Then I'm just going to add it to my magenta that I used earlier. I'm just going to keep adding more pigment to that. So that we have one magenta and one red, and that of their red is going to turn into purple. So we're just going to get a little bit of blue and add it to the magenta that we have to get a deeper, almost like I don't know if we've had dragon fruit before, but you kind of see right here. It's on the purple side. And that's on, they're still red dominated, the color mixture. And then on this red that you have, on the second red that I have, there will be a little bit more blue. And then we're going to make that purple. Let's see here. And I'm just adding a little bit more color. I need water. Okay. Test my dryness. Still a little bit wet. So I'm actually going to go ahead and add a little bit more red separately on my palette, just in case I need it, and then I'm going to add water. And just let that soak for a bit. Oh, yay, I'm so happy to hear that. That's a good question. I really like koi watercolors. I just like the pigment, and I noticed that they're more, you can like save, like you can let these dry out and you'll still have pigment, and then you can add water again when you're ready to use it. And it's not like, sometimes when you do that, the watercolors get kind of gritty, like grainy. But I noticed that the quality for koi watercolors is really good. Koi watercolor, I'm just putting it in the chat. Right now I'm using Pentel Art watercolor tubes. I got it on sale. Oh, yay! So happy to hear that. All right. For those of you, I think there are a few people that just joined. We just created our sky. We let that dry, mixed some colors. We mixed orange, so we made actually the orange more pigmented, and some magenta. And then I'll show you the technique when we do our second mountain. Our second mountain range, you can see the technique that I like to use. I wonder if there's a way to be able to play this back, like you have access to it after this session is over, if there's like a link you can get to. All right, for the next mountain range, I'm going to use a flat brush, just in case there are people that, oops, only have flat brushes to work with. And let's see, it's really hard to upside down paint, but it's okay. I want to make sure that you guys are able to see the process with what we have to work with today. I am going to get my magenta color onto my paintbrush. And I'm actually going to start here. Make the top of my mountain range. Definitely prefer the round brush. I'm going to go back to the round brush. And then, sorry, I'm just going to, I can get pretty particular about my stiff peaks. Alright, so I went all the way, and then I'm going to add some purple to the magenta here, just on one side. And then I'm going to wash that color across. Look at this, so there's a little bit of a gradient. I'm going to clean my paintbrush a little bit, keep the water that I have on there, and I'm going to bring that color down. Okay, add a little bit more color on the top. Might even go into some red. Just trace. There. And then bring that down again with some water. Going across. I just switched to my flat brush just so I can get more coverage as it's still wet. Alright, and then we should have something that looks like this. And here is the reference painting again. Something I noticed with watercolors is that when it dries roughly 2 shades lighter. So if you think it's too dark, just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. And now I'm gonna make a deeper purple while I wait for that to dry. So I'm gonna add blue to the darkest color that I have, so the purple. And it should be a very deep violet color. And I'm just gonna keep that on my paintbrush. Thank you all again for bearing with me today. It's so crazy that I had everything set up, even with technical help, and then right once it's set up, my iPad decided to not cooperate. But I'm trying not to be too frazzled about it. Now would be a great time to also sip on some tea and just let things dry. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. And while we are spilling our tea, and because I wasn't really able to super introduce myself with being so frazzled in the beginning, again, I'm Nani, and I am hopping on from Seattle, and I'm originally from Hawaii, and most of my art background is like in 6th grade through 12th grade. I had art every day at this charter school that I went to growing up in Hawaii. And other than that, and like besides like painting and ceramics and sewing, fabrics and textiles, I would consider myself pretty self-taught. I've been with Silver Kite Community Arts since 2018, so about 3 years now, but I've known the founder, Dr. Jennifer Kulik, since I attended college. She was my former professor, and I think she saw my love for art, and she invited me to join her in the work that she's doing. It's such great work. It's before COVID, I was able to host Sipping Paints in person, and it's such a fun way to like get to know people and bring people together through art. And also in a really relaxed environment. Oh, thank you, Sonia. I love to hear that. When I'm not painting, or doing anything artsy, I love to hike with my dog, Niece. I say Niece because she's my brother's dog, and I love her so much. We go hiking together, and she's the best. She's a Shiba Inu, and she's the best behaved, the most well-behaved Shiba Inu I've ever had. I've been around, I guess. She's not mine, but no. Just remind her that we're all at different areas of like we're all in different places. Every day is going to be different. Your breath is going to be different every day. All right. now. When it's not shiny, when you're checking it, it's okay to like put your finger on it because it won't leave a fingerprint. All right, I am going to start a little bit more tea. I really wish I wasn't in summer school. This educator summit sounds so awesome. I am on my way to being, I guess I'm an educator now, but I'm just a teaching assistant right now for kindergarten. And I was like looking at all of the different workshops, and they seem so awesome. I wish I could be there to attend them. Maybe hopefully next year. And I'm not busy with summer camp. All right. Okay. So we're going to go into our purple. Oh, Shelly, you're too kind. And I'm going to go all across, I believe. Oh, yeah. From the left on your paper. We're going to make some purple mountain tops. All right. And I will be doing this upside down. It's kind of fun. It's a good challenge. Since I already did this painting the right way yesterday. This one I like to keep it like, I like to make it a little bit more steep. All right. And I'm just going to go all the way across. And then I will show you how we're going to add that magenta color at the end. So should have some red around, and I'm just going to go right into that red and add it to that purple. And I'm just going to go over. And I might also go into my purple as well, get that color in there. And I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to clean off my paintbrush. Get that really nice and dry as you can. Go back into that purple one more time. Just a little bit, just to keep it nice and wet. Oh, sorry, you didn't see that part. So sorry. I was so concentrated. And I'm going to go in with purple one more time on the magenta, just because I'm looking for a particular color, but you can do it to your taste. All right, and then once you're happy with that line, your mountain range, you can start adding water. and bring it all the way down. I'm going to add more purple to the top right here. I want it to be a little bit darker. I'm going to clean off my paintbrush again. I'm going to add a little bit of water and going my way all the way down to the bottom of our papers. More water. And I'm just letting gravity do the work today. But when I was painting this, it was flat on the table. So you can choose. I like my first painting better, but you know, I'm not done yet, so we'll see. Alright, I'm going to move on to my flat brush. And just come across from the bottom and slightly lift my way up. And then I'm going to go back to my round brush and try to create some less harsh edges and try to make it follow the mountain. So like if it's high here, it's going to go lower here. The pigment's going to be darker. Yeah, it might be best to just keep it flat. If it's flat, that's more ideal. That's probably why. I'm using, here I'll show you again in a second. Let me just get to the stopping point. There you go, I'm happy with that. Pentel right now, I got these on sale. Yeah, Pentel Arts watercolors. I also got another watercolor set that was on sale, but it's in this bin here and I can't really see it. But I really like koi watercolors. K-O-I, like koi fish. Alright, now is a good time to breathe and spawn some tea. It's really easy to forget to breathe, especially on like really chaotic, stressful days. So nice to be with you all today. Just wanted to say it one more time. I wish we were in person. But I also appreciate the comfort of like being in your own home, or wherever you are. That is also really nice, not having to go anywhere. Hey, thanks, Teresa. I'm glad we could relax a bit together. I don't think that my paper will dry in time to show you how to do these pine trees, but I will show you on another piece of watercolor paper. While you're waiting for this to dry, enjoy some whatever you're sipping on, and you can also add some birds to the sky. I can show you how to do that really, really quickly. All right, I'm going to take some black. And I like it to be pretty, I like a pretty high ratio of pigment to water. And I'm going to make some V's. You can put as many birds as you want in the sky. It's up to you. Here's your painting. And I'm going to mute myself for a bit really quickly, and then I'll be right back to show you how to do these pine trees. Alright, hello again. And if you're curious to know what watercolor paper I use, it's the Arches one. And I like the rough texture a lot. Alright, we're going to make, we're going to do a pine tree, and I'm going to just tape it down. We're going to pretend these pine trees on our painting. And hopefully you'll have time after this workshop to continue painting, especially your trees. You won't be able to do it while I'm doing it, I assume, because if my paper isn't dry, your paper probably isn't dry. But, you know, you can always go back to your painting, which is really nice. All right. I'm going to try something. Bear with me for a second. All right, I am coming to you from the other side of my laptop. So you can kind of see what I'll be doing. So for let's see. You can see this okay. right, and I'm gonna go get my detailing brush again. And again, you want a high pigment ratio, so a lot more pigment of black in your black. So I'm just mixing my black in right now, getting as much as I can. Oops. I'm going to adjust my camera. And here's how I like to make trees. I like to start from the bottom, kind of just like make a nice line up. It doesn't have to be all the way. And, oops, it's not usually supposed to do this, but you'll establish your length of the tree. And then you want your paintbrush to be exactly over. And you want your paper to be flat, so it's not gonna. And kind of. So I start like this, and I always bring it back to the middle. And sometimes I kind of like to let my paintbrush flick out as I'm making my way down. So you'll make this base for now, just to establish like the leaves getting wider. And then for the top, kind of looks like a star on the side. And then now we can go back and add more of the leaves. So you can see my paintbrush is pointing at 0 degrees right on top of the paper, and I'm just filling in little brush strokes. It'll be a lot easier to work with when it's flat, so the colors kind of don't all droop to the bottom. And you can do some wiggly lines too, as well. You want to be careful of your trunk being too thick. All right. I'm going to show you one more time. While we still have a few minutes together, actually, I would really like to see I would love to see, we have a couple minutes left. I would love to see what we were able to accomplish together today. Catherine, I'm not sure how you want to go about this. If I'm not sure how to, can you like spotlight people's videos? If they can turn on their cameras. If not, I will be checking out this link.
Hi there. We can have people request by clicking share audio and video. We only have 5 spots, so you and I are 2 of them right now. I'll get out. And then we could have up to 3 people in, or if they don't feel like sharing this way, I did put the link to the Padlet that I made in the chat there, and I'll put that on the participant experience website. So if people want to share when they're done or now, they can add to that.
Okay, cool.
I'll leave the video, but if I see anybody asking to be allowed to share, I'll pop them up there for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, the finer your detailing brushes, the more you can really get into those finer details in your tree, like the thinner twigs and branches. Yeah, let me get the original painting. So I made, oh, that's upside down. Yeah, I'll just hold it up like this. I made one tall tree here. You can see how close I got. And alternatively, you can even use a Sharpie if you don't feel like using paint. And then I add two friends here, two tree friends. And I also like to just create a shadow, cast a shadow under the trees by just, once I'm done painting the tree, I'll clean my paintbrush out, and as the trunk is still wet, I'll just wipe it across, wipe my paintbrush across. All right, yep, we're at our end. Almost time to say goodbye. Thank you all again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed our painting, and you can make many more on your free time. You can totally play with different color palettes too. If you want like cool blues, you can play with that. And yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'm not sure, I'll be around if there are still people that would like to show their paintings, but I'm assuming you're working on them and excited to get started on your trees. So yeah, I'll just keep this up. Thanks everyone. Oh yeah, I see pictures already. Awesome. Oh, your painting is beautiful, Catherine. I like the blue on the bottom mountain range a lot. It's a nice touch. Yay. Thanks, Karen. I'm not sure. Is there a way to show people? Oh, okay. Pretty. Oh, that ocean looks nice. Oh, I love the beach. So, and the movement in the water that you were able to create with your watercolor is so beautiful. Mm. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for having me. Oh, yay. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, I do have upcoming painting. I'll be teaching some, I think, acrylics and watercolors in August. If you go to the site, superkite.us, you should be able to see the schedule, and you can find my name. I don't have the exact dates in my head right now, but I would love to see you all there. Yeah, now I'm not sure how long this the Paint and Sip Share Padlet platform is going to be open until, but I'll be checking it. I'm going to save this link on my notes. And I'll check it, and hopefully I'll be able to comment too.